Hello, and welcome to another chapter of a tome pulled right off the shelves at the heart of the Jakuls. As always, I'm your reliable host, Lothran, and there's ever so much more data to relay. So let's get to it, shall we? Go grab a filling meal, settle into a cozy spot, and pay accurate attention to Fleet Part 22, Stolen Warmth.
Nono bounded ahead down the trail, excited to be back home to oh-so-familiar territory. Fleeing down the path and then bouncing back up it to rest near Cam's steady, striding footfalls with glee written on its face.
It was so much hotter and more humid in the fog-drenched valley, for now, that Cam had to strip off all the outer layers from head to toe, stuffing them handily into his backpack. He could feel the cold creep upon his skin, and he knew tonight would be horrible if he could not start a fire. He couldn't stifle a laugh at the excited antics of his little friend as they sought out their shelter for the night. With the lights starting to fade, the sky beginning to gray, and the winds beginning to hurl themselves down from the mountaintop.
Nono kept choosing the snuggest, fallen, hollow trunks to rest within.
Though how the little devil expected Cam to fit as well as it did was anybody's guess. Cam kept moving, knowing he had to be fast. He gathered fluffy, dry reed tips as he walked by a slowly trickling stream, and a few, as straight as he could manage to find, dense flower rods. He could almost hear his father's voice in the act. You have to be sure to collect the best of everything when you want to make something just right. Cam had to settle for a thorny flower, since all the reeds and cattails had rotted so late in the season, taking extra time to flick free all of the thorns that wanted to cut at his flesh. He found a cross-section of 2 turned-over trees and made a quick roof with dead wood, bark, and moss. And then he laid down his former outer layer of clothes to keep some sort of barrier between himself and the ground. Cam gathered up as much dry wood as he could find, trying the fick he'd brought with him just in case, but the resonance field kept the tool from working at all. He cursed his luck. The bubble of energy was even more powerful than it had appeared on scanners, and as the cold began to sink into his hands and fingers, Cam started desperately trying to coax fire from fibrous life.
Nono stared at Cam and the motions he was making, picking up 2 warped sticks of his own to act out the endeavor. But the little beast kept slipping and bumbling with his sticks, seemingly unable to contain his frustration and shaking limbs. He gave up curling into Cam's lap as Cam continued to pursue the source of warmth, comforted only by the heat of the fuzzy beast watching his disastrous attempts to make something.
His hands numb and aching, the wind cutting at Cam's bare skin. He gave up in defeat with many curses, aware that the choice could be the death of him. He built a windbreak to block as much biting bitterness as he could, packing the miserable shelter with tons of dry leaves for insulation, and turned his head away from the abysmally cold air and brilliantly gleaming sky of stars, using a spare bit of curving bark to cover his head, and held onto Nono for the wealth of heat the happy purring beast generated against his chest. Hello there. Cam opened his eyes in a moment, rabidly sore from a night of near frigid torment. He sprang up in shock, whirling his head around as he stood to the ruinous detriments of his makeshift shelter. The red-furred pointed face of the Zir leaning against a nearby tree, tossing stones behind his back where Nono expertly caught them and placed them in an ever-growing and balancing pile. What are you doing in our prison? The being's face didn't move at all, but Cam could hear his own voice echo in his head. He slowly began to reach for a rock or stick, anything he could use for a weapon. I wouldn't do that. And I'd do a lot of things. But not that. The Zir smoothed his cloak with one three-fingered hand as he chided Cam. I'm looking for someone, Cam said to the man. Your friend? The berserk fellow? Hopefully he's dead. The Zir replied as he bent casually to pick up more stones to toss Nono's way. Why did you steal it? He asked of Cam. I didn't steal anything, Cam replied, feeling more than a little confused. We both know that's not true. You've stolen quite a bit of late. The technology, the base, the hearts of many young ladies you ignore because you feel it would not be right, you being their leader and all. No matter how much you yearn to hold them against a wall, tear off their clothes, and have your— Enough! Cam shouted to the insidious being to silence, feeling the odd echo of his own voice chased from the confines of his thoughts. The Zia revealed its top and bottom rows of needle-sharp daggers, making a very strange sound that might be laughter, but was certainly some twisted form of humor from the snide look in the Zir's eyes. Cam saw a chance at possible knowledge and took it. Do you know where he is? My friend? I wouldn't call him your friend after what you did to him, but I know where he is. Hopefully he'll stay there and die like a good little pet. The Zio replied with Cam's voice in Cam's head once more. But seemingly uninterested in this line of questioning, the Zir moved on. Why did you take the warmth? The Zir tilted his head at an impossible angle for a jackal neck to turn. I didn't? Cam stopped himself. He recognized that as he insisted his innocence, the Zir stepped to further block Cam's view of Nono and to move closer to Cam in a more threatening manner. I didn't know the Zarya belonged to anyone, and he found me while I was working. I did not seek him out. So you think. You do not know. The Zir walked a few steps off to one side.
Nono, once more presented with a view of Cam, gasped in shock as if Cam hadn't been standing a couple meters away, running up and leaping into Cam's outstretched arms, nuzzling there the absolute picture of comfort and joy.
We have a problem. The warmth is not for you. It was meant to go elsewhere. Were it not for you calling it, it would be there by now. You have stolen something very important to all of us. The Zir gestured to the empty wilderness around them. No, trust me. You can trust me. Only a fool accepts offered trust. The real commodity must be earned, not given. How do I earn your trust? Cam asked, holding Nono close to his chest. Put the warmth down. I am kind and just. The others will not hesitate to erase you from existence for your crime. Why though? Nono is fine in my care. He's already chosen to be by my side. The Zir put his long, pointed red face in both of his hands while sighing. In Cam's head once more. If a child was given the choice between bliss now, that it could not see the danger of, and slight discomfort that was perfectly safe, which do you think that child would choose? Cam put Nono on the ground, rebuking the angry little creature when it attempted to clamber back up his leg. No! Stay down! Cam had to yell at the cute little beast.
And make it clearly sad and depressed. Nono wandered off to the side of the Zir, staring back at Cam in the most heartbroken manner.
Good. Follow. The Zir walked off into the woods, away from the stream. Cam had no choice but to follow after obediently. And so it is, our time together has once more come to a close. I hope each and every one of you enjoyed the tale as much as I have the telling of it. As always, I've been your studied host, Lothran, and this was Fleet Part 22, Stolen Warmth, another tale right from the heart of the Jakuls. And now, we must once again part ways. Korvoth, guide them back along the proper path, back to the safety they know all too well.
Yes, sir, Lothran. Oh my, Nono isn't a little creature, it's a little child. But what was it doing traversing the mountains all alone? Or better yet, with a group of other little beasts very similar to it? Very curious. I have that job to get back to. A pleasant greeting and a fond farewell to each and all. Please leave all your comments, questions, and kindnesses down below. Don't you let me catch a single one of you leaving any of that mean, rude, or awful stuff, though. Keep all that garbage to yourselves. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to help us learn, spread, and grow. And don't forget that we strongly encourage each and every one of you to do your absolute utmost to stay safe out there. See you again tomorrow for Fleet Part 23. It's gonna have some good secret spice to it. Good night and good luck, everybody. You'll need it. Bye-bye. 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 See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.